This is Ice Cream Gecko, and in today's video we're going to take a look at Ferrero Nutella, a bread spread that I should have taken a look at years ago. A review is certainly overdue. Let's take a quick look at the outside of this stuff. This is of course world famous, very popular here in Germany as well, especially when it comes to the Football World Cup, or Soccer World Cup as the North Americans like to call it. The German national team always has some sort of advertisement deal going on with Nutella, with Ferrero, I should say, and yeah, they really support the healthy nutrition for children in this particular case. The morning makes the day. We've got the ingredients list right here. We've got sugar, palm oil, which is of course great. We've got hazelnuts, 13%, Magermilchpulver, which I think is translated to skim milk powder, something like that, 8.7%. Low-fat cocoa, 7.4%. Then we have some emulsifier right here, and we have a bit of vanillin. Nutrition table, pause if you want to read that. We've got 56% of sugar, and we've got 31% of fat, and that's almost it with the nutrition table right here. This is all we need to know about this particular product. I mean, with marmalade or something, at least you have got half of sugar in there, but you've at least got some sort of good feeling about vitamins, although most of those are going to be probably denatured once you've actually prepared the marmalade and cooked it up. But this stuff right here, you've got half of it is sugar, and almost the other half is fat from halfway across the world. Now we've got a bit of stuff from the other half of the world right there. Wonderful ingredients list we've got here. A healthy part of every breakfast. Isn't that wonderful? So let's open up the top right here. 50% gratis. That's of course what tipped me over to buying this. Lol. We've got the world famous foil right here. We could probably do some degenerate ASMR video with that as well. I used to do ASMR videos, didn't I? When I look back at those, I just find them nothing but cringe-worthy. I mean, the fad is over at this point, it feels like. It really isn't, but to me it is. Let's open this up the old-fashioned way then. Oh no. And take a look at the wonderful brown gold that we've got here. Isn't this beautiful? Like, Nutella is something that, of course, as a child you love, and something that differentiates Nutellas in different countries is actually the bitterness. Back as kids, we always had our summer vacation in Italy, and the Nutella that we had there was a lot sweeter, a lot nicer, a lot more palatable for children than the Nutella was back at home here in Germany. Not to say that we did have Nutella here in Germany often enough to actually make a proper distinction. Not much experience in that regard, but the one time or two times we actually had Nutella at home, it wasn't as nice as it was in Italy. Unfortunate, isn't it? I don't know, I've got a love-hate relationship with Nutella. So, first spoonful, and yes, I'm actually doing this. I'm not joking. I'm not quite a shoe nice or anything, but spoonful of Nutella is what I'm going to consume today. It doesn't look particularly appetizing. It seems to be brighter, lighter in color than it used to be over here. Smell-wise, yeah, it has got that distinct scent to it, but it reminds me of the much sweeter Italian Nutella than it does of the darker German one. First spoonful of Nutella going in the healthy breakfast. First spoonful is quite nice. It's very distinct in texture. It is a bit weird to describe. It has got a certain viscosity to it that I think it didn't have about 10 years ago in the way that I feel it right now. This stuff right here feels a lot more, not grainy, but there's a certain viscosity to it that feels like there is some sort of flour in it, almost like a flour paste that it didn't have back in the day. Back in the day it was a lot more runny when it was like room temperature warm like this, which is interesting. I didn't quite expect that. I don't have Nutella most of the time. It just, like, as a kid you love it, but now as an adult, or as a man-child, as some would say, I have to say that I just feel guilty when I eat this every time I actually spread this onto some sort of slice of bread, so I usually avoid it. Anyway, let's go for a second spoonful. And I'm not using the same spoon because I'm not a true savage. Second spoonful of Nutella. I feel weird just doing this, to be honest. Yeah, something that's for certain is that you can certainly taste that hazelnut flavor. Fatty, very fatty hazelnut flavor. Nougat, not per se. It doesn't really taste like the nougat you've got, like nougat bars or anything. This stuff right here has a lot more of a. It's a weird way to describe it, but a floury texture to it because it's not as quite as smooth as nougat is in a nougat bar, for example. So it's a weird one to describe. I do not know that I do not think that I'm doing a very decent job at that, but I've got foil in there, Nutella foil. Is this edible as well? Oh, and of course I've got one of my favorite spoons, a legally acquired autogrill spoon. Isn't that wonderful? I loved that place. Third spoonful is going in, and after that I'm going to prepare a slice of bread with that. Nutella. Wonderful. Alright, here we are back again. I've got a cutting board, the same knife from before, and I've got my favorite Aldi bread that is roasted to perfection. Just on the verge of being cancer-inducing, this is what I deem absolutely wonderfully tasting, and I don't know, for me this is just perfection. And I've got some margarine right here as well because I'm too cheap to actually buy butter. Butter always tastes nicer, but margarine is cheaper and stays stable in the fridge for longer. So margarine it usually is. I'm poor. Alright, let's take the dirty knife and drive it into the Nutella, because this is part of the fun, right? And I mean, the perfect slice of bread would have probably like a 2-to-1 ratio of Nutella versus bread. This right here is maybe a bit too little, but I'll let you decide what is nice and right for you. This seems to be a very healthy part of every children's breakfast, I think, yeah. The first bite is of course wonderful. It does taste more natural than just eating Nutella with a spoon, that's for sure. I don't feel quite as idiotic as I did just a couple of minutes ago. First slice of bread, oh well, the first piece of the slice of bread was of course wonderful. Let's go for a second one. And of course, when there is an open glass or open jar of Nutella in the fridge, there always is some sort of brown streak in the margarine or butter. And that's not necessarily because Nutella is in the fridge, but it is because of the idiot consuming both that is, you know, operating the fridge. I should say, I shouldn't say because it sounds absolutely moronic to say it that way, but this is me, and I don't think you've come to expect anything else from this channel, so weird choice of words it is every time around. Okay, let's smear it onto the toasted bread once again. At this point in time, I don't even know what the objective of the rest of the video is at this point, so I will just smear this onto this and eat this, and then I will probably say goodbye. Alright, the second piece of that slice is now consumed, and I'm not sure where to go from here. This is Nutella. It's got a very distinct flavor to it. Back in the day it was different depending on where you are coming from, but maybe they have now homologized that texture, that flavor, the recipe for all of us. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing, I don't know. I think this is at least a lot more tasty than it used to be, the German version of Nutella, when I was a kid, about 9 to 10 years old. Anything else? I don't really have anything else to say other than palm oil is of course great. When they say it's great, it is great. There's nothing wrong with carrying oil for food halfway across the world for, I don't know, for being a substitute to stuff that could be grown locally. But that's just my opinion, bro, so I don't really have anything to complain, I guess. If I were to rate this, I would probably give it an 8.5. Yeah, an 8.5 out of 10, because this is not like amazing great. I think this is very overhyped for what it actually is. It's tasty because it's just sugar and fat, and that's what humans like: energy, sugar, and fat. And it's a well done mixture of this. The marketing program of Ferrero is certainly second to none, but sometimes I do have a bit of a nagging feeling in my tummy that this might not be the greatest thing to market this to children as a healthy part of breakfast, as a good part of breakfast, as a part of breakfast that should not be missed. I do not know. Maybe this produces higher BMI numbers all across the world that I simply do not see. Anyway, I think this is where I'm going to end this particular video. If you've got a question or a suggestion, leave it in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more videos just like this one, please subscribe if you still want to. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope I'm going to see you soon. Until then, bye bye.